There are certain halachot that one needs to keep in mind, and these halachot are being neglected because of lack of information, perhaps. So according to halakha, the Kitab Shuri, the letters of Sifrei Torah, they have kedusha, they have holiness to it. Even when they are copied, they're printed, they still have kedusha. For example, the otiyot merubaot or merubaim, like the letters bet, mem, that have four corners, they have certain holiness to it. And these letters, when they are written or printed, copied on paper, they cannot be discarded in garbage, because they have this inherent kedusha, holiness. However, the letter shin, the letter pe, resh, that they are like half circle, they do not have kedusha, like the letters merubaot. So therefore, when it comes to printing wedding invitations, that one uses the Hebrew letters, one should try to avoid using Kitab Ashurit, the Hebrew letters. Instead, he should use a script or Kitab Rashi. Kitab Rashi, the Ashkenazi writings, they do not have the Kedusha holiness like the Kitab Ashuri, and therefore that should be the preferred writing on these invitations. Now, the Pesukim that they usually use in the wedding invitations, like Qol Sason wa Qol Simcha, Qol Khatan wa Qol Kala, this is the Pasuk from Yirmiyah, and one should not write these Pesukim on wedding invitations, as it was the minhag, the custom of Rabbeinu Moshe Feinstein alav Shalom. Rav Feinstein alav Shalom, he avoided writing the Pesukim on the wedding invitations because of the fact that the fear that these invitations might end up in garbage bag, might be desecrated, which is a big avon. So people need to keep this in mind, that even if there are 3 words from a pasuk, it is prohibited to write them on wedding invitations or any source of writings or copies, because people don't know and they might come and discard those invitations or writings in a disrespectful way, putting them in the garbage can. So because people don't know to put them in Geniza, Shemot, as much as possible one needs to avoid it. Now, when it comes to Bar Mitzvah invitations, some people have the minhag of writing the pasuk, right? Tiferet Banim Avotam, right? Or they write Ukshatem Leot Al Yadecha V'Hayil Tutapot Benenecha, the pasuk in the Kadeshli. Or the Tiferet Banim Avotam is the pasuk in Mishlei. This is not a good custom, and one should not write these holy pasukim on their invitations. So much so that when it comes to Sukkot, this wonderful Chag Sukkah, one should also avoid writing the complete pasuk as a form of decorations on a paper and hanging them up in the sukkah, because of the fear that this might be desecrated, might be discarded in a disrespectful fashion, right, ending up in a garbage can. So this is very important, that as Harav Natan Nishalita mentions one who desecrates the holy letters of Ivrit, Kitab Ashuri, these Pesukim, right? This could bring Yisurin, Chas Shalom, and all sorts of difficulties in one's life. Lo Aleinu. Another thing that one needs to keep in mind and perhaps try to work on it is the fact that we see by weddings, they write on the wedding invitation that chuppah will be at 7 o'clock, for example. But by the time that you go there, right, forget about Persian time, as they call it. By the time that the chuppah takes place is 8, sometimes 8:30. For the duration of 1 hour, 2 hours sometimes, people are sitting there waiting for the khatan and kala, the bride and the groom, to show up. So how much bitul Torah, waste of time, is going to happen during this time? And one needs to pay attention to this, to try to minimize the wait, the delay as much as possible. Besides the fact that this could be sheker, a lie, writing them on an invitation with the intention of having it later, right? A person is causing all those guests, right? Sometimes Chashuv Rabbanim, many important rabbis who are attending the wedding, to be waiting them, to be waiting there, not using their time in the full extent, in the best way possible, causing bitul Torah, the waste of time that could be used for learning Torah, for expanding one's knowledge of Torah, doing chasadim, and instead they're wasting their time. As our Chachamim teach us, bitul Torah keneged kulam, lo aleinu, that wasting one's time is equal, tantamount to all the averot, lo aleinu. Just like Talmud Torah keneged kulam, bitul Torah is keneged kulam. That learning Torah is equal to all the mitzvot, is as important as all the mitzvot done. So one needs to really pay attention. He should write on the invitations that Be'ezrat Hashem chuppah yiyeh b'shah sheva. Be'ezrat Hashem, with Hashem's help, the chuppah will be at 7 o'clock or between 7 to 7:15. And this way, people would schedule their time accordingly. Another thing that one needs to keep in mind is by circumcision ceremonies, by Brit Milah. One needs to try to have it exact on its time, right? As we know, Harab mentioned that there was this very big tzaddik, right, that had announced that Brit Milah will be at 9 o'clock, and no matter what happened, he had it at 9 o'clock. Maybe a minute here and there is fine, but one should not delay it, because people are waiting. People's time are very important. Is tircha de sibura. One is causing people to have tircha, to be bothered. So Be'ezrat Hashem, in this zechut, Hashem should help us that we all have semachot with using our time properly. Venomar Amen.
Amen.